Don't you hate that, though? It's not right. Yeah, it's just not right.
Danielle, I sent you an email you probably did not see.
I've been out back,
Yeah.
spread out.
I got 65 cents too much, so I'm looking for that 65 cents.
All right, this is the September 14, I think, 15th, Selectboard Workshop.
It's May.
May, God, what, I'm looking at stuff here. Oh, I apologize.
Okay.
May 15th. Oh, boy, been a long day already. So our first thing we're going to talk about are ARPA funds and reconciliations there. And I saw what you mean about that, the roads being marked completed. It's
Okay.
possible I did something incorrectly there, but
This is stuff.
we'll have to see next time, because I can't even get into the portal now. They close it.
The camera's not really, that's just freezing because of that, or it looks like it's fine on camera.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know,
That,
it's
that
stuck,
should
so.
go away.
Okay. Did everybody get the printouts? I thought that was best because it's pretty big and the screens are so small, so.
Yeah.
I just wanted to start basically and explain how I got here. I am trying to reconcile the reserve accounts as a whole, which led me to ARPA because we were just doing lump sum transfers, and basically this ARPA reserve account needs to be broken down into all these sub-accounts based on votes and allocations. So that's kind of what I tried to tackle, and one thing led me into another, and now we've got these big spreadsheets. So there's a detail sheet on the very top. There's a detail. This is where I started, which led to the account summary sheet. And then the smaller one is kind of like the end-all balance sheet of what I came up with. The detail shows each ARPA town vote, how much the town appropriated, and how much was expended, and when that was done. Also, on the very top, it shows our deposits that led to the 207,000 and change of the ARPA total. So the summary sheet shows the same, but it actually compares to what was reported to the federal government, just to making sure things match up on town votes and what was reported and what was expended. The balance sheet, I'll get to that at the end, and hopefully after I go through all this, that will make more sense. So if you could just kind of refer to both the detail sheet and the summary sheet, I'm going to kind of refer to both. And if we could, I just want to go line by line so I can understand better what's going on.
Is your detail sheet the one that has more of the red
At the
there?
very top, it says detail. And at the
Account
very top, it
detail,
says summary.
and then,
Yep.
okay. I can barely read them.
So, in June of 2022, we had a special town meeting, and $40,000 was approved for a new ambulance for Sockeye Rescue. There are 2 payments for 2 rescues, and an over expenditure of $8,750. So I guess that's where I kind of want to start. The vote was for 1 rescue. The amount approved was $40,000, and we spent more than that.
Probably would have come out of the rescue reserve. I mean,
So it's not supposed to come out of ARPA, just the $35,000 for the 2022 Ford ambulance was supposed to come out of ARPA. Is that right?
On the 40,000, David, What do you get for total, let me see, total expenditures?
48,750, and only 40,000 was approved.
It says town only voted to use 35,000.
They voted 40,000. The approved amount on the worksheet is $40,000. That's what.
Article 2, yep, it said approved amount was 40.
So the first item that was paid for is a 2011 custom ambulance from QuickBooks of $13,750 in 2022. Then a 2022 Ford ambulance was paid for of $35,000 in August of 2023. So the total is $48,750. So I guess my question is, what do we do with that overage, and how did we get there when only one ambulance was approved?
David, that is the one that, you moved some expenditures from, out of, I think it was the, Lucas tree, the Lucas equipment.
Yeah.
Lucas units for the
Yeah.
ambulance?
I'm just looking to see where those are.
The Lucas units are under Article 5
Yeah, okay,
for Rescue 2 equipment.
okay. So I initially had 23,750 there, and the pieces was 13,750 plus 10,000. You had me move the 13,750 up into the ambulance cost, David, when you were doing the opera. I do know that part.
What do I have?
Well, these are in QuickBooks, so 13,750 was out of QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was no moving, I don't think, anyway. Your Lucas equipment was paid out in November of 2022 out of Trio.
Yeah.
So, 2 different time periods.
Yeah. And the Lucas was 10, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're gonna come to a conclusion, but these are just the things that kind of need clarifying.
Well-
Because the total of 48,750 was reported to the federal government,
Right.
when the town only approved 40,000. So do we take the extra 8,750 out of ARPA? Does it go somewhere else? I don't know.
It's already out of ARPA.
Am I reading this correctly that Article 2 was for 40 and Article 5 was for 40?
Right,
So a total of 80?
but there are 2 different votes, 2 different separates. Article 5 was for rescue equipment, not for an ambulance.
Well, it says replacement for Rescue 2.
Equipment. The article, if you go back and read it, is for Lucas units,
Okay.
and that's what got paid
Right,
out.
that's what I'm looking at. And
Yep.
I'm just looking at this, and if I'm reading it as replacement for Rescue 2, then I'm thinking that they're
That's
replacing
how it
their
basically
Ambulance.
read in the article, and then it gave detail that it was 2 Lucas units to be purchased with that vote.
Got it.
two equipments. Okay.
Yeah. Frankly, I don't remember the conversations. I think probably the first ambulance expenditure, the 13,750, was for a temporary, if you will, ambulance, because their newer one was being built and wasn't going to be ready for a year, if I recall the numbers. And so it's very likely that we did move some money from the Article 5 up to the Article 2, right or wrong.
Okay, so just keep it as is, that's what's been reported across the board, so we're just, even though it exceeds the town vote, we're obviously.
Yeah, we
it's
get
already-
that, yep,
It's already in the pay, okay.
yep.
All right. Article 3, town hall improvements. 15,000 was approved, town vote, 8,000 was spent, there's a balance of 7,000. So, I reached out to MMA Legal and I sent you the email. Any balance that's left over from an approved amount has to stay, from what I'm reading, in that same category, is that correct?
I read that
Without a
as
town
well.
meeting, yes. Yep.
Public health ARPA category, is that right? Or is that
Oh,
gonna-
yeah, that's what I ran into with reporting this time, yes.
But does that stay under town hall, or since it's marked as completed, it's all done, and you take that $7,000 balance and it was reallocated, but I mean, more money was voted to be approved for ARPA uses than what we had. So this was kind of confusing. If you go to the balance sheet,
Mm-hmm.
all the money that was appropriated exceeded the ARPA money we actually had
From both deposits?
from both
Yeah,
deposits.
total.
And
So,
the way Ed was addressing this, he was, in his mind, it was whatever money was left from a vote here, if it fell within the right place, he would reallocate, get another vote for something else to that.
Well, it sounds like it was already overspent.
Yeah, well, I guess my question is the deputy's cruiser included in this?
I took it out
You took
because
it out.
I saw the note, it wasn't an ARPA expense.
Okay.
So that's completely out of the
Okay,
equation.
yep, okay.
So I guess my question is, what happened? So this was back in 2022, town hall improvements were approved, 15 grand, 8 grand was spent in 2023. It's marked as complete now. What happens to that $7,000? It just carries over to another public health use, because if you move down, there's other public health votes for other
Well-
purposes. So you just add those all together.
Well, we did have a special town meeting where, as Debbie said, Ed got a vote that said all monies unexpended, and it was not worded right, but anyways, will be put into a road ARPA account.
But that wasn't until 2023. And that's a completely different category. Roads are under natural disasters.
Okay,
So the way I read the attorney's email is when it got approved for a certain category, it has to stay in that category, but can get voted for another purpose. But
Right.
it has to stay in that category. So you have, looks like Parsonsville has 2 buckets, one for public health and one for natural disasters. Under natural disasters includes the ambulance, generator, and roads. Public health is everything else that we voted on. So to take that 7 grand and put it in roads, I don't think that's allowed because it's 2 different categories. But maybe I'm reading it wrong.
yeah, I'm going back to the letter from MMA.
It's kind of lengthy.
And again, we don't have to come up with answers today. I just need to talk this out and start the conversation so we can figure out where these reserve accounts are at and how much money we got left on certain purposes. So. We've only got 10 more minutes, so do we want to continue or do we want to just?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, let's
Okay.
continue.
Okay, so Article 4, back in June 2022, was the generator, 40,000 was approved. $34,721 was expended. That included the generator and the tank. So there is money left over in that purpose. It is marked as completed to ARPA, so I'm assuming that's done with. Article 5, replacement for Rescue 2 equipment, same deal. Money left over, $40,000 was approved, $10,000 was expended, so it leaves a balance of $30,000 for that public health category. Article 6, Town Hall audio visual equipment, our cameras and everything. $15,000 was approved, $15,048.06 was expended. So we have an over expenditure of $48.06.
Yeah, that one, I should have reported that differently. I should have reported it just as 15,000.
Okay.
But
Special town meeting, we took out the deputy cruiser, that's wiped out because it's not an ARPA use. Article 4, let's got some notes real quick. The kitchen, it's kind of a different beast. $13,000 was approved, $9,113.43 was spent. 2 projects were reported for ARPA, Kitchen 2, which included all the expended funds, and marked as complete of what was spent to date. The last payment for the kitchen was January 27th, 2025. Kitchen 3 is a separate project that includes all the unexpended funds of the kitchen from that $30,000 that was approved. So that is listed as not started. So
Correct.
I'm assuming that's the balance that we can still use for the kitchen. Is that correct?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's kind of a hard number. Annual town meeting of September 23, purchase of roll-off containers that washes, appropriated an amount, the expense completely equal, so that's perfect. The roads, Article 45, at town meeting, and it's basically sweeping the remainder of ARPA funds to roads, and it was between $25,000 and $50,000. Does that mean at that time of that vote, anything that wasn't expended up the sheet goes to roads?
Hard to tell.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
$20,805 was reported to ARPA, and that's kind of what I was confused with. It's marked as complete, but there's no expenditure.
Yeah, that one is not complete.
So, I guess, what is that amount for? The reserve? It's marked as April storm cleanup, I think. What is that amount for exactly?
What project?
Well, it seemed like from what the attorney said, it has to be a contract and a hard expense capital improvement that it's not just for like your general maintenance.
Right, yeah.
So-
Yeah, it's for
Cram Road.
Cram Road paving, cleanup and paving,
So it was reported as April storm,
okay?
so.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
residual from April storm,
Because of the paving damage?
yeah,
Storm
and the
damage,
ditch
April.
damage.
Okay, so does that go to the reserve or does it go to paving?
I don't understand
It was-
what
it
your
was,
question is.
I have to transfer that amount out of the ARPA reserve to the roads.
Yes.
So where does it go? The road reserve?
Oh,
Does it go to
well,
paving?
we have not paid this in ARPA yet, so it doesn't go anywhere at this point.
So it's to stay in the ARPA reserve?
Yes,
Okay.
until we, well, no, I don't know if
Final
that's
figures.
true, because you've got the Cram Road paving and cleanup has actually been done.
Yes.
Okay, so it should go where that was paid out of.
Right.
It was
has
paid
that-
out of paving.
Okay, so it should go to
So we
paving.
need to transfer that to the paving to
Yep.
offset grant. Okay. Just trying to get this done before June 30th. Okay.
So I wonder, would you transfer that money to the road reserves? Yeah, right, instead of to paving, just put it in road reserves?
It should go where we paid it out of.
Well, the way the accounting system works, it's gonna show the full expense in paving.
You guys
It's
said-
not an APR, the expense wasn't out of APR.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay, let's not worry about it
Yeah.
right now.
We'll
Let's
just-
get through
maybe
this.
We can talk about
Yeah.
it a
Yeah.
little bit, okay. Special town meeting, June 27th, 24. We've got, text my gov, which works out great. 33,000 was approved, 3,000 was expended. The only thing I did notice is that that wasn't included in the expenses in the ARPA report.
I believe it's part of the technology.
The technology, you
Maybe not.
included the text my gov budget amount, but not the expense amount.
But which item is that, Danielle?
Article 4, June 27th, 2024. So if you go down to
24.
technology upgrades, it says completed, but
I'm
you're
showing.
not including the expense. You're only reporting the expense from Article 6, technology improvements of $7,771.50. You didn't include 3,000 from text my gov. So that's missing. from what I can see.
Hmm.
From a reporting standpoint.
Right.
Right.
We have it appropriated spent, but as far as, I was just matching up the ARPA report, making sure the expenses lined up with what David reported, and that's the one I could not find.
Okay.
Just trying to find technology here. But it seemed like the budget amount was included, but the expense amount equaled what got paid out for the computers and laptops and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The 3,000 wasn't included, so we need to look at that, I guess.
Yeah.
Which was exactly 3,000 short from what the town expended versus what was reported, so it was exactly $3,000
Yes.
short between the two. Automatic door openers, we've got money left over there, it's marked as completed, assuming that balance goes to public health. Town meeting, 2024. The water heater was actually expended in 2022. I looked at all the ARPA expenses, and that water heater was spent in 2022. It wasn't approved until 2024 at town meeting, and I don't really understand why. I couldn't find a select board vote of that 18 grand anywhere for 2022, other than a very small invoice from Mechanical Services. And Mechanical Services installed this water heater back in 2022, November of 2022. So I'm a little worried about the audit on this category here. When they get to the 2022 audit, they're going to find it, and the approval isn't until 2024, so I'm not sure really that's here or there. But do you recall at all why that got done, David, or?
Yeah, it got done because we had money that, out of ARPA, that we wanted to spend, and we thought because the expense was within the allocation period, we would allocate some of it to that.
But there was no vote.
Not until 24.
Not at that time, no. No, at the time it was installed, it was just paid for.
Correct.
Yeah, it was at the special town meeting.
It wasn't approved at special town meeting.
Yeah, it was.
In 24.
In,
Annual town meeting of 24.
okay, annual, I'm sorry. At whichever town meeting the vote was, it was approved.
But that was 2 years later.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm not arguing with
Everything
you. I
else,
agree.
everything else lines up except that one item. 2022 expense, 2024 approval, so that just looks way off kilter, but, that was expended. We approved it in 24, and $832 was over expended because only $18,000 was approved by the town. So that's a negative.
When you say when it gets audited by
Excuse me.
Beaulieu or the state when they look at this?
Our auditor.
No, but-
Our
Our
auditor, okay, our
yeah.
auditors, right?
Yeah, and who knows, the feds may audit it, but I doubt it, based on the size of our grant.
Mm.
So on the balance sheet, I tried kind of making sense of all this, what was appropriated per category, and these are all the balances add together for public health. You add everything up together, we should have a balance of $41,433 if we had that kind of money, but we don't. So the balance didn't equal to what we actually had from the ARPA program. There's the balances left for natural disaster. I did not include roads because it would seem like whatever was left over was gonna go to roads, but I didn't take out the 20,000 that was reported. So at the end of the day, on the right-hand side, the total amount of approved town votes at town meetings was 240,305. The total expended was 202,000. But the ARPA amount that we actually deposited into our bank account was $207,338.57. So we over appropriated what we had in the bank. So if you take the 207 minus the 202, we have a little less than $5,000 left over. It looks like since the natural disasters have a negative balance, the remainder should go to public health category. The reported amount for the kitchen that was reported to the federal government is $3,886.57. Minus that from the balance, and you got $1,108.84 back to technology, which would bring us to zero.
What's the
Wait a
other
minute.
technology? Because I had 1,228.50.
I have 1,108.84. I think I gave you the sheet, right? It's under your hand.
Yeah, you did, yeah, okay.
So from what the attorney's saying, anything that we don't spend has to be paid back to the U.S. Treasury, so, that's how I understand it.
That is correct.
Okay. Does that balance make sense to everybody, or?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm sure it
so-
makes sense, but
Okay, well, I'm trying to get a real balance in the reserve account.
mhm.
I can't really reconcile until we actually have that, so, everything else is easy. This ARPA is extremely complicated, the way it's set up. So, I'm just trying to reconcile with our statement, and without knowing this balance, I can't do that, so I'll move forward with everything else, but, I would like to get a real balance by the end of the year.
Mhm.
We really gotta have that. So,
All right, well, I will go through, I'm not sure I can get any more accurate than what you've got or give any more insight, but,
the only thing that I do have to check is, what was entered into TRIO and what was transferred out of the two accounts, out of our, reserve account into the general fund.
mhm.
I gotta figure out what has been done money-wise,
Mhm.
and what is still outstanding, and that's gonna take me another couple of days. But once I have that, we really gotta come up with a balance, so the statement jives with what we say it is, so.
Mhm.
And that is that.
Okay, a lot of work, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, this is very detailed.
Thanks.
The amount,
Do you wanna,
Yeah.
touch base Monday after I figure out what's been done and what I've got that's outstanding? Because I do have other transfers that need to be done from the other reserve accounts that have not been done. So I would like to move that money as soon as possible, definitely before June 30th.
Mhm.
So I kinda gotta have that.
We can try, we may be, yeah,
Or we
yeah,
can do Thursday again, that's fine with me too.
yeah. Why don't we tentatively say Monday,
Okay.
but it may be Thursday, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you still need to set up that other account, or have you done it yet?
What account?
For the reserves?
I'm not doing anything until
Till-
we know where
yeah.
things are at.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yep. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Great, thank you.
So the amount that was over appropriated in all the articles, and then the balance, it would almost make it seem as though the balance should be negative with this over appropriated amounts, but is it just because we haven't spent everything that was voted on? Or it sounds like we have on her balance sheet here.
Well, we haven't spent everything, no. So which are you looking at? This is the
Yep.
appropriations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the only thing left for ARPA expenditure, or for ARPA money left, is there's 3886.57 in kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and 1108.84 in technology.
Hmm.
And then the roads. So,
Which is accounted for here. It
Where?
may not be moved around or anything, but it's accounted for in the, or 207, in her 207,
right,
or in her 202.
yeah. Yeah.
Article 2, 12.6, Article 2, 12.6, took out.
I added those election results for you, John.
Oh, awesome. Let me get out and go back. Get out.
I'm coming up with $1,228.50 on technology.
As a balance left?
Yeah. At 9,000 minus,
Well, but we over appropriated, so
not on, no you didn't.
we,
Not on,
town votes appropriated 240,305.
no, I'm just looking at technology, it's $9,000.
Right, but you can't look at one when you have a overall over appropriation.
$9,000, and then there was $658 expended, and $3,113.50 expended.
Right, but we over appropriated across the board. So you
Not
can't,
with,
you're starting with a number that isn't, like, we approved 9,000, but we didn't have 9,000 to start with.
yeah, they did over appropriate, but they did not,
Right, so you
they have
can't,
not over expended.
if you spend $1,228.50, you will overspend.
Yeah, I'm just looking, I've got it set up per vote, and then I have it set up differently than what she does, so.
Yeah,
Trust me, I don't know how many times I've done this.
yeah, but if we spend the 3886.57 for kitchen, which we will, to install the stove,
Mm-hmm.
and then,
Okay, the
We
kitchen,
spent-
right, the
and we-
kitchen has, yeah,
and if we spend $1228.50, we'll overspend by about $120 of what we actually received from ARPA.
$120.
Yeah,
And what was that second expense, the 112? What was,
it's 110884 is what,
okay.
after fixing it, is what we have in the technology.
And then technology.
But Deb's right, 1228.50 is what we, is what's left after we appropriated the 9,000. But the problem is we over appropriated elsewhere, so we don't really truly, you know,
Have.
we don't really truly start with 9,000. We're starting with $8,880 instead of 9,000.
Now, how is that? Okay, as far as the accounting system goes, computer-wise, it doesn't really mean stuff was paid when it was paid, other than that.
Yeah,
18,000.
all the town votes, so the appropriations were 240,000.
Yep,
We only got 207 from ARPA.
yep, I understand that.
So we,
But one big part of that, the big thing was on the 36,700. I know that, okay, so sold the car, the money went back to ARPA, so in Ed's mind, okay, that money's available. It was voted elsewhere in different categories.
yeah, but the car never moved. And the other one,
Yeah, the car did move, the car was taken out of it.
not out of ARPA.
Yes, the car was paid out of ARPA, the money was put back in ARPA when the car was sold.
Yeah, it was a wash.
Yeah,
And
it was a
Danielle
wash.
Right.
shows that the
Gotcha.
article was,
Yeah.
that it was stricken.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so she doesn't account for that. That's not even accounted
Right,
for in the
no,
over
no, she
appropriation.
doesn't. There was another one,
Yeah, I mean, we overspent in a few buckets, and that's why,
and there was $6,106 that was voted, which was never used at all because it wasn't appropriate to spend for opera, and that was the last payment that was due to the York Sheriffs. Ed wanted to pay that. We got our money back, and then Ed wanted to pay it from opera, what the last payment was to them, and no, that's not. You don't rent a car just for a month and then,
yeah,
you know, so.
but yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
So
why
I know
it's-
that's why it's over expended. I mean, there was no intent to go over, but,
Oh, I don't think anyone's saying there's an intent,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just saying
no,
like
I know, it's-
that's what. We were given 207, we've only, we spent 202. So we've got just shy of $5,000.
that's funny, because I only
Left.
have 181,538.16 actually expended.
Yeah, see, the roads are not on here,
Right.
even though that number is including the roads,
Right.
because the under expenditures that are shown on here have been swept into the road account.
Yeah. I don't want to give you my spreadsheet, because maybe I did, it will totally confuse you. But if you want it, I can give it to you.
Okay, can we leave that one for a while? Because we gotta get this trash contract.
Oh. Yeah.
I guess the first thing we need to do is get the ads in shape. And I don't remember, did you work on that, Aaron?
I had sent it to him, but I don't know.
Yeah, I had.
The last one I sent you, I crossed out the your bids must be submitted with 4 separate prices. Cross that all out and just put in new dates. But I don't know if the dates are acceptable. No, it's not. Find it,
Yep.
find it, Jen.
The one that you sent today?
I
The
didn't
contract?
send the bid.
Huh?
I didn't send the bid today. Sent that the other day.
Yeah, I'm looking at the contract.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I can't find your most recent, I've got the old one.
5 pages.
Yeah, the contract.
And there's more that goes to it. The ordinance goes with it and some road information goes with it.
I'm not sure I've ever read the flow control ordinance. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Okay. Sent you guys the draft of what I had.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, took what Deb had, removed the crossed out part, and then added the paragraph on the bottom there, based off of the response we got from MMA about bids, about putting that language.
Mhm. I think you should probably add the 3-year contract with a 1-year extension, or however you say that. I mean, it's not a given. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. It'll be in the contract.
Is June 16th okay?
I don't know. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Adding the word at after Fred Memorial Municipal Building.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say put a comma after building, but that works too. Need a period after the 2025 when they have, bids
Yeah.
have to be submitted.
Just did that.
And can we say select board instead of select men? Just say instead of board of selectmen, say
Yep.
select board. And there are a couple of selectmens at
Yes,
least.
fixing those.
Thank you. Oregon Agricultural Town may consider but not be limited. Warranties. Price, experience, warranties, and references. Anything about history with the town, or maybe that's experience?
I think that gets us pretty close.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we're gonna use this as an ad, it should probably have the full Town of Parsonsfield heading with a phone number, in case people have questions.
I'm gonna place the ads, both of them, on the 28th, May 28th and June 4th.
Both of what?
The solid waste, bulky waste and the bulky waste and the white goods pickup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the second one, you need something out further.
Yeah. I'll do it a week after I do the first one. Get it out.
Okay.
And how about that flow control ordinance? Is that something, I'm going through our land use and development ordinances looking for it.
Let's see. This is something in the contract. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, so are we on to the contract now?
I'm reading through it.
Okay. So we do need to add the possibility of a one-year renewal. All right. You want to edit this, Aaron, or you want me to?
I can edit it.
Okay.
July 15th, 2025 to July 14th, 2028.
Right. And make the TH on 15th a superscript, as it is on the 14th. Actually, they shouldn't even be there. It's a date. You don't need the TH.
Yep.
And there's a, I hate to be picky like this, but in the, under contractor's responsibility, the second, end of the second line, including camp roads, and then there's no space before the dash, but there's a space after.
Yep. Got it.
I don't even know if it needed a dash, including camp roads right there. And it's Fridays.
Well, yeah, I don't know if we want to specify. I mean, if we do get another contractor,
They might not be able to do Friday?
well, we'd much rather have Monday, pick up after the weekend.
When did they change it and why?
Mellon would not do Mondays.
Huh, I do
First
remember
one.
when it changed, but I had no idea why.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had,
I think he does Leamington on Mondays.
well, he does now. but
Yeah.
He didn't at the time. He was concerned about holiday, or at least that was one of his excuses. So, yeah, I don't know if we want to change those to leave it preferably Mondays.
Including holidays.
Yeah, they'll just cross
Yeah.
it off.
I mean, they pick up on holidays, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, leave it then, I guess, because it can be negotiated, right?
yeah.
You wanna say something about commercial recycling?
I haven't read through it all yet. We don't say anything in there. Responsibilities of one. White goods picked up in the spring. So, Aaron, you'll appreciate this under contractor's responsibility, 2F. Contractor must supply proof of liability on and on in the amount of $1 million. It's a line from a movie, but.
Oh, let's see.
So G is where it says contractor must comply with the flow control ordinance, and I'm trying to find that ordinance.
Send it to you.
Okay, or just tell me where it is, I can,
I don't, it's in my stuff, so I don't
huh,
know.
okay. I don't see it in our, or is that something that's a state?
It's not on the web, I do not believe.
And in the plow contracts, we added providing proof of registration of their vehicles and
You added it for the new ones that are gonna be coming the following winter, not this winter, but the next, or is that what you're saying?
we added it in the last
Okay.
cycle. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I would like to add that because I remember Steve coming in a few times next door and
Oh,
registering trucks
Yeah, he
after
does.
that.
let's see, where does it say? All vehicles and equipment are to comply with federal and state regulations and be properly identified. Okay, so contractor will supply the town with proof of registration and motor vehicle insurance for each vehicle.
Are you, oh, you're reading the plow contract?
No.
Or- No.
No,
Oh, where are you finding that?
under contractor's responsibility, 2E
Oh, 2E. Yep,
and
okay,
2F,
that's
yeah,
there.
2E, yep,
Yep,
yep.
thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, boy.
And frankly, I think we should take the note out about new vendors may require to be bonded. I think that just scares people away.
Okay,
We have found that that's just an expense that will be passed on to us. And
okay.
all right,
So you were to leave Monday in there, recycling collection on the first and third Monday, preferably. Must be done.
well, yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
that,
don't know.
yeah.
I mean, people are used to it now.
Yeah,
Oh, no, we're not doing Mondays, we're doing Fridays.
right.
Yeah,
But people are used to Fridays, so,
yeah.
yeah.
I guess I'd leave it.
So where the contract says each cost of brown goods, tire drop-off, and white goods should be included separately, each cost should be included separately along with the cost for solid waste recyclables, so that is not part of the bid then? Because you had it, I think, right?
Well, that's saying on the bid, you have to list it out
Okay,
separately.
For each item,
Yeah.
the only thing that they listed separately is what their price is gonna be for the 3 years. They didn't give any separate prices at all.
how do we know what they're
This
gonna?
isn't anything that was changed. This
No,
is,
that's the first year though, I think that was put in there, separate
Okay.
prices, yeah. And it was completely ignored. They just gave one price, that's for everything.
Oh, and that included everything?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
think we should take that out.
okay.
Yeah.
So we do include that, contractor can negotiate with commercial establishments for provision of a dumpster and the fees for that use. But I don't think we say anything about recycling, do we? With commercial?
No,
No.
we should include that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Solid waste recyclables. Residential solid waste. Okay. Why is that first paragraph under contractor's responsibility set out differently? Shouldn't that be A and continue down from there?
You would think. Oh, there's responsibility. And there should be a space between contractor's responsibility and that paragraph.
where are you?
Back up to a contractor's responsibility.
The first part should be A
Right.
and then continue down. And the responsibility of curbside pickup of all acceptable recyclable materials, including commercial recycling? Can we say that?
Mm-hmm.
Or including commercial establishments? It's still only defined as residential.
Right.
Yeah.
Commercial business, commercial establishments.
Where again?
In the old A, which is probably now B under 2,
Yep.
responsibility of curbside pickup of all acceptable recyclable materials, including at commercial establishments or something to that effect. Or maybe it should go as after the as defined by Ecomaine.
Or after month. So the responsibility twice a month, preferably the first and third Monday of each month at all residential and commercial.
Responsibility of
Yeah,
curbside
that's
pickup.
fine.
Okay.
And this is kind of a picky point, but when we say twice a month, preferably the first and third Monday of each month, they could take that as meaning Monday, well,
Monday's recycle and Friday's trash or something?
well, not only that, but they do 2 days in a row. And they wouldn't have anything on the second day. I know they won't do that,
Uh-huh.
but can we say twice a month during the first and third weeks of trash pickup? Or something to that effect?
So that it goes along with that
Yeah.
trash pickup. Responsible by the weekly curbside pickup of acceptable residence solid waste is defined for the, yeah, there's. To coincide with trash pickup?
Twice a month, preferably the first and third Monday of each month at all residential and commercial establishments on the same date as residential solid waste pickup.
Okay,
There you go.
that'll work, I think.
Mhm.
We'll see what it looks like. Okay.
Are the list of camp roads current? I don't know if there's any more that have been, I've
No,
no-
been added, that I'm aware of.
okay. Oh, I didn't know Lloyd Watson Road was a camp road.
All right.
Town of Parsons Field Flow Control Ordinance, when was this done? I'm looking for the date. 1991. Wow. Joe Benzing, Marilyn Worrell, Arnold Smith. 1991. Probably this should be in our ordinance page, right?
Yep.
Under government, yeah. I've never seen it before.
And is the recycling ordinance there?
No.
No.
Because that says you will recycle.
Yeah, I have read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have read that one, but I'm just, Debbie just forwarded the flow control.
All right. And I don't know, did you do a mass selectmen?
I'm working on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is so ancient. The town of Parsonsfield designates the RWS disposal facility of Congress Street in Portland, Maine. And any town disposal facilities.
Is that something we can update? Is it long?
Yeah,
Yes, it's long, or
Yes,
yes, we
it's-
can update?
yes, it's long. It's not a Word document or anything.
No.
No, it just looks like a scanned-in copy of, yeah. I mean, from 1991, it's, I don't know that they had Word then.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
They did.
Well, we might be able to get a, maybe MMA has an up-to-date or a current template that we could use for flow control, maybe.
Could be.
Or we can just go through this, retype, put it in a Word document, and,
Should I remove the recycling committee from page 4?
I know Judy Ingram is still on it. I do not think that Patio Day Senior is.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really a need for that on there.
Hmm.
Okay.
I guess I would take it out. And P.O. Box 30 and Federal Road at the top of that page is no longer. We've got some names to update.
Yep.
Okay, so, oh, pardon me. So the ad can go out on the website immediately, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, how long do you want it to run?
All right. I'm talking about the website, Debbie.
Oh, okay.
It should go in the shopping guide as well. Let's see, where are we? 15th, so 19th. I guess I'd run the ad. Monday and then the 2nd of June. What do you think about that?
2nd of June, what was the first date? Do you have another date?
Monday.
Monday, the June.
Pardon me? Monday coming up, whatever
Oh,
it
the
is.
Monday's coming up, okay. What is that, the night shoot?
Yep, so that means the ad will go in the 21st,
Yeah.
right? The shopping guide on the 21st, and then you want it to
On
go,
the 3rd, on the 4th. June 4th?
so it skips a week?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
that's
Why not?
usually how we do it. I mean, that may not be the best way. That's why I look
Yeah.
for input.
yeah, I think that's good. It gives a whole nother week after that to be submitted. Yep.
Right. And Debbie, can you send out copies of the
Yes,
bid requests to
Yeah.
the list that you said you had?
yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Aaron, when you're done with that, ad for the contract, just send it to me.
It's already in your inbox.
Oh, there was no changes, good, thanks.
There was a bunch of changes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's that fast.
thank you, got it.
Oh, did we put anything about a one-year extension anywhere?
We did not.
Okay, I think we want that. You guys think?
Is that more contract or is that bid package? Like, you want that in the bid package?
No, why do we put that in there?
Well, in case we get into a situation like we got
Like we
into
did.
this year. where-
But it didn't help us at all.
True.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
Although
Melon's not gonna wanna do that, or he may include it, but I guarantee if we were in that situation, he would do the same thing.
Mhm.
You know, I prefer this. It might It
All
just
right,
might be,
well,
it might be confusing to
3
people.
years. 3 years, that's fine.
Mm. And maybe I'll dig around and get a little more information on flow control ordinances and see what that's all
Okay,
about.
yeah.
I find it a little bit ancient for people to have to be reading and
Okay, looks all right to me.
And Danielle can post that also on the, or Aaron can post that on the web, right?
Yep.
I have amazing news for you.
What?
It's already there.
It's already there.
How did I know that?
This. Alright. Yep, so it's on there under news. And it's on there under bids and RFPs.
Are you close to the, what's his name, Paul Kemet? To know, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
because if he wants us to consider his bid for the boiler, he needs to submit a full, including cost. He's got a couple of I don't knows and one,
Yeah, he was working with a company that does the asbestos abatement.
yeah,
And so he
okay,
was gonna get a more.
okay.
He's gonna get over here to do it, but he's
Okay.
gonna get a more detailed.
Okay, good.
Bid,
And-
yeah.
And he should submit it as a blind bid like the others?
Yes.
No, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Do you have a, do you wanna meet with Lance here this Monday or Thursday?
Actually, probably not Monday. We need to have an executive session with our lawyer. I'd like to try and have that Monday.
okay. Before or after, or during?
During our workshop, I was thinking.
Okay, as long as we can make a decision on the grant.
Well, we
So
can
that-
do that during our regular meeting. We have to do
Right.
that during our regular
Right,
meeting.
okay, just want to make sure, and if we want to workshop any questions about it,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
All right, so I think I'll email Cam right now and see if he can, 5 o'clock would be great.
okay.
Yeah, all right.
Do you want me to tell him 3:30 next Friday?
Not Friday, but
I mean, Thursday? Jesus.
Thursday, yeah, tell them 3:30, because we may finish up with Danielle on,
Wait a minute, what
Thursday.
time are the people coming in, the land management, Levitt
oh
Plantation?
yeah, we don't know. Between 2:30 and 4. Yeah,
So
you
we
better
can-
not tell them
yeah.
then. Oh, shoot.
Well,
Let me just.
what if they came in from 4:30 to 5 and the land share people, and then we have our executive session at 5, and then we can discuss grant stuff during the meeting?
What else was I thinking was going on Monday? Can't remember. Okay, yeah, do that. Monday at 4:30.
All right. Yep, so it's posted to news and to the bids page.
Okay, I'm gonna go into news,
Bottom left, go to news and announcements.
and then, should it just pop up with, everything else?
The first one, the first top left one should say open bid for solid waste and recycling collection.
Debbie, have you emailed them already?
To who?
The land share
No,
market?
no.
Okay, hold it for
Do
just
I
a
have to
minute in
click,
case Pam comes back immediately and says,
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
Do I have to
won't
click
work.
bids and RFPs?
I mean,
Under,
it's there too, but it should also, like, if you click,
let me get out of this, because I don't see it. Get out of everything. News and announcements.
why, you don't have the school budget one either?
Nope. Well, school budget's right there.
Oh, yep. Hit refresh, maybe? Maybe you got to it too quickly?
Open bid for solid waste and recycling. There you go.
Yep. Yeah, and then I was showing Danielle that
How bizarre.
she can actually link to these news announcements to the Facebook,
Oh, wow.
and so she'd be able to post it that way.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it's also there under bids and RFPs, and then once we do the bid package, I can edit those and hyperlink the bid package too. So.
Wow. I'm glad you're doing it.
It's been a learning curve, but some of the stuff is very simple to remember or to learn how to do, and some of it's a little more tricky. Because like when you do news, they kind of each do a different thing. There's different types of news, so they have a public notice, which puts it there. There's a press release. There's an article, so if you're just writing an article rather than a public notice. And then there's an announcement, which is the banner across the top.
Oh, yeah.
And so they each do a little bit something different.
Wow.
And then what you can link to them changes.
I'm gonna go in and put,
And then there's an emergency alert that you can put on.
oh,
So
wow.
what happens is when you log into the page, it'll everything will be grayed out except for whatever your emergency alert.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's something really important, like a special town meeting or, you know, election, things like that, you can have
Flood,
that. So that-
fire.
Yeah, you can put it all right there.
Uh-huh, wow. Love it. So if I want to, again, edit the calendar, I'm in calendar and I'm going to click on the 20th, Tuesday, May 20th, the same date as the district referendum,
Yep.
and I want to say no pickleball that day. Pickleball,
Yep.
and then,
So you just want to delete that occurrence?
rather than delete it, I think it would be better to say no pickleball.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah.
If it's a recurring event, that's a better process.
How would it be?
I know, I was like, I thought, oh, wait a minute, you know what, I'm under,
Okay, I think I'm gonna end the broadcast
Oh, yeah.
of our
Okay.
workshop. We're just cleaning up things on the website. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll be back Monday at 4:30 for our workshop then.
microsite, homepage, body, edit, everyone's off on Tuesday and Thursday, 9. Short description.